Good morning. I'm sitting out on my kitchen steps waiting for the sun to come up over the trees and sipping on a cup of coffee. This is my favorite place to sit. I don't have a deck, but I call it my kitchen step cafe. It's just so peaceful to sit in the morning and listen to the birds and sometimes watch a hummingbird. The bees aren't awake yet. And this morning is a very cool morning compared to what we've had over the last 3 weeks. Feels great. So I think it'll be a while before the bees start to become active and the butterflies, flutterflies as I like to call them. But my cats are sitting around me. They're waiting to eat. I haven't fed them this morning. One of the reasons is I have an older cat who has lost many of his teeth, so I usually soak his food and make it nice and wet for him to eat. So the other cats have to wait until his food is ready. And here we have a little hummingbird. I don't know, have you ever noticed that later in the summer, in the morning, the birds aren't as active singing as they are in early spring and early summer? Perhaps it's because the mating season is over, as far as I know. I'm not sure, why that happens. I miss it. I still have a house wren outside my bedroom window. Must have a nest nearby, who sings every morning. And I can depend on her to sing every morning between 5 and 5:30. And they have the prettiest melody. But I'm looking forward to this wonderful day of no humidity, perhaps lower temperatures, so I can get some yard work done. First step, I have to get out and get a spark plug for my lawnmower. I'm hoping that's the only problem for it not starting. It was running great the night before and had no problem. A little difficult starting, but I got it going and it was fine for the rest of my mowing experience for that night. But today it's nice and cool that I can actually mow the grass during the day. Last few weeks I've been going out after 7 until it was dark cutting grass, just because it was a lot, I should say, not cooler, but I could tolerate it. But just sitting here enjoying. We did have a gusty wind the other night, and I make these totems out of leftover bowls and glassware that I have, and unfortunately this one fell over. So I'll have to repair that. But I enjoy junk art, as you can see. Cats are telling me they want to eat. I can't get them in the picture right now. They keep on hitting my elbow. So that's why I'm jumping all over the place here as I sit. Tipsy. This is Tipsy. Oh, I can't get her. That's Shasta. All my cats have been strays that have come my way, and I've taken them in. Always try to find homes for them, but, you know, in today's environment and financial stress, people aren't looking for cats, even though I usually have them neutered and vaccinated before I look for a home for them. We had a wonderful program for trap neutering and release, which I've taken advantage of. And unfortunately, that program is on hold right now because the veterinarian that worked with them has moved on. And I guess they're having trouble finding another veterinarian. I imagine it's either volunteer work or minimal pay for a vet. And for all the money that a vet puts into school and insurance and everything else that goes along with such a business, I guess a vet just can't afford to donate their time anymore. And it's a different world, basically. And I don't even want to get into that. Yeah. So I'm going to just sit here and enjoy the splash of the water. I need to fill my pond. It's pretty low. In the fall, I'll have to take a look because I know I have a leak. I might have to replace the liner. It does go down pretty quickly to a certain point. And also my tubing for my fish fountain has been clogged up, so always something to do in the gardens. Well, the black and white cat is Tipsy, and you've met Schweitzer before. Tipsy has that condition, I can't think of the name of it. It's cerebellar something or other, which hasn't affected her seriously, but I know when I had decided to take her and keep her, I noticed her head would tilt to one side, just very subtly, but you know, being around her more often, I picked up on that. So I've named her Tipsy, because she, especially when she was younger, she always looked like she was going to tip to the one side. But it's very, most people wouldn't notice it. But just having cats all my life, I'm familiar with that condition, which isn't too rare. Happens quite a bit. I've come across several cats with that. Hey, Schweitzer. What you doing? Yeah, Schweitzer is the cat that got beat up pretty bad when I found him. Actually, he found me. He was coming up on my mud porch to eat my... I usually leave food out for the cats in a large feeder, and he was coming up at night to share it. Tipsy would chase him away, but he was in really bad shape. His ear was all bloodied. His paw was cut, actually missing a couple toes, or pads, I should say. We nursed him back to health. And you know, he was pretty feral when I first found him. I had to trap him, but I did build up some trust where he was eating out of my hand. Uh, you know, eventually put the food in the trap and was able to catch him, and then got him the vet care that he needed. And I took him to that organization I was talking about earlier, where he was neutered. And I was really impressed with the vet. I really like natural remedies if they're effective. Um, and she told me for his ears to take him home and use raw honey. Well, what she didn't know was I was a beekeeper. So I actually have honey on hand most of the time. This year's a little bit different because I lost my one hive that I had. Beekeeping is such a rewarding hobby. I miss it this year. I was hoping to catch a swarm, which I haven't done at this point, and I probably won't. It's kind of late to catch swarms. It's almost August. Usually May and June are the better months for doing that in Pennsylvania here in Northeast. But there's always a possibility. So that's why I have a bee box set up in, a beehive set up in the middle of the garden there. But I was lucky a couple years ago, but this year it's not working. So I've been without bees. But they are so wonderful to learn about, to watch how hard they work, to understand what it takes to make even just a teaspoon of honey. I would have a chair sitting outside my hive and just sit there and watch. It's also important to watch your bees, to understand what's going on, to understand if there's a possible problem within the hive. So it wasn't time wasted. It would never be time wasted. But next year, maybe I'll buy a hive. It can be expensive, but it's, as they say, the rewards of beekeeping is priceless. Well, maybe the next time I video, I'll have a new camera. So I'm looking forward to that, and maybe providing you with better videos than I have. But thanks for putting up with my inexperience and my amateur quality for now. The sun still haven't breached the trees, but it's filtering through. Enjoy your day under the sun. Take care.